my friends and my family. This is Trevor Chapman, modern-day man, entrepreneur, achiever, purveyor of the good life, student of life, marketer. After over 10 years in business, tens of millions of dollars, I've learned this one thing. There's too much noise. It takes tactics and strategy. You can't buy it, you earn it through experience. Failure after failure hones the craft. You must become a warrior. It's time to run. The experience you can't buy. You had to have earned it. It's my turn to give back and contribute. I share all of my lessons from 7 to 8 and from 8 to 9 figures. We'll see if it goes from 9 to 10, but I'm gonna give it all to you. Consistency, persistence, dedication, vision, time, discipline, work. I'm gonna give it all to you so that you learn from where I failed and you learn from my experience. My brothers, this is your daily fuel.
And here we are again, my friends. It's such an honor to come at you. You know, this is a big privilege for me to be able to doing this and to actually have people that appreciate it. So I appreciate all the messages that I've received via email, Facebook, Messenger specifically. So thank you for sending those to me. You know, I've got something that's been big on my mind ever since I was in Africa. It's a great opportunity to go on these sabbaticals with members of your family, especially your kids. You're able to dig deep and have the conversations with them that you don't really have anywhere else. And we had an experience on day 2. It was kind of a rough day. Actually, it was probably day 3 or 4, the one particularly that I'm thinking of. But we went over something called the breakfast wall, a few thousand-foot vertical cliff. You know, moments of concern with my son and everything. But when we got to the top, the entire team was there, and they started to sing a local tribal chaga song in Swahili. And it was an incredible experience. Everything you can imagine. You're on top of some rocky knoll. Mount Kilimanjaro is right behind you. There's no one else around it except you and these local chaga natives. And they're singing a song of victory, a war song of victory. And I started clapping. I was dancing with them, and my son was mimicking me until another man entered the scene. He was behind us on the breakfast wall. He's probably a 55 or 60-year-old German dude. And when he came up over the edge, he stopped for a second. He just watched. Now, this man has absolutely zero bearing on my son's life. But for some reason, my son stopped clapping and stopped dancing and just stood there. And at the end, you know, ran around, hugged, thanked them. It was amazing, continued with the day. Then that night, when we climbed into the tent, I said, Jace, what happened? And after about 15 minutes of beating around the bush, he finally told me I was trying to be cool. Now, he's 10 years old. He actually just turned 11 like 2 days ago. And this idea, this concept of, quote, trying to be cool, unquote, has never been a part of our family prior. In fact, each year that I go on the trip with him, he always comes back as if he, you know, took maturity by a few years. My wife talks about it, my girls talk about it. But this trip, we seemed to kind of start in the negative. Things that he would normally do, care about other people, make other people feel special. Make the world a better place because he interacted with it. These things, for some reason, just weren't happening. And the many conversations that we had always went down to this concept that he was self-conscious, that he was embarrassed, and that he was trying to be cool. Something, I guess, that happens in 5th grade. The concept of trying to be cool, in fact, has affected all aspects of his life. He started to put out videos online. And about 2 weeks ago, they became less dynamic, less full of energy, less interesting, less everything. And in talking to him, I'm like, dude, what's going on? And again, after 15, 20 minutes, we get to the truth. And with tears in his eyes, he tells me that he's trying to be cool. Isn't it amazing that in an attempt to impress somebody we have no clue who they are, we'll never see them again, we often ostracize the people around us and we destroy our very chances of success. See, when he's not dynamic, no one's going to listen to his videos. And yet, for some reason, he thinks that being less dynamic is going to make him, quote, cool in the eyes of people. Yet it does the exact opposite. How this proliferates our lives and can destroy it, I know not. I saw when we were in Africa, and I've noticed this in many third world countries, from Indonesia to South America, to Southeast Asia, this concept of attempting to be cool doesn't really exist. See, nobody has too many things that even gives anyone else the right to be embarrassed. And so everyone is just accepted as they are. As we were on the side of Kilimanjaro the last day in Africa, we had already summited. We were meeting with another local Chaga tribe, and they had taken us on a tour to like their local village waterfall. And they started singing, and what they kept singing was happy people. So they would like say someone's name, and then they'd sing happy people, and they'd clap and dance. And again, it hit my son. Someone in the distance who he doesn't know, he noticed, looked at us, and it stopped him from dancing, stopped him from clapping, stopped him from engaging on the level that he should. Lo and behold, we had a family get together with my wife's family yesterday, and her youngest brother started to ask me about online stuff, specifically being an influencer, things like this. And I told him, dude, you've got to start putting out content daily. In the beginning, it's not going to be good. Don't attempt for it to, and he started to ask me about metrics, likes, followers. Dude, you are so far away from that. If you start to measure your success right now, starting with 0 followers at how many followers you're gaining each day, you've already failed. Because the only metric that counts for the first year is going to be consistency and persistence in getting your message out there and being authentic. And he said, yeah, man, but it's a little embarrassing. What do you mean? Well, I'm going to make a video, I'm going to put it out there, and then all of a sudden, all the kids at my school are going to see it. Yeah. In 4 or 5 years' time, you will arrive somewhere regardless. Regardless if people see it, and if you'll just get out there and resonate authentically, you can make an impact. The key is to just literally not care. Why are you giving anybody who has nothing to do with you, who has no impact on your life whatsoever, any power over you whatsoever? Here's the bottom line. People are going to disparage you no matter if you're doing something cool or if you're not doing something cool. People are going to point fingers at you if you're lame or if you're awesome. It's just going to happen. It's how we're wired as humans. You've just got to not care. Stop caring what other people say about you. It does not benefit you. Do not take counsel from your fears. Do not listen to the corner of timidity that is trying to pull you into it. Do not drown in the whirlpool of giving any credence to the naysayers whatsoever. What was it that Theodore Roosevelt said? It's not the critics that count. Not the strong man that points out or not the weak man that points out how the strong man fails or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit goes to the man that is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood. And then it goes on about failing and triumphing, but at least if you failed while triumphantly trying to succeed. Like all this, guys, if you are not doing something or not pursuing a dream because you're worried about what some idiot on the sideline might say, because they might laugh, they might point fingers, then you are discrediting, you are giving yourself and your family and your potential audience such a huge disservice. So I'm going to ask you a question right now. In the last 30 days, what grand idea, what great endeavor, what noble effort did you contemplate embarking on, but stopped because you thought, what might they say? Say it out loud. Even if you're car with your family, act like you're on the phone. Say it out loud. What was it? Now, what's the worst that could happen? The worst that could happen is you could fail. Everybody fails. You have to fail 100 times before you succeed, so you better get on it right now. And what happens if you fail? They say, I told you so? They always say that. You get a dead-end job, they're going to say the same thing. And even if it's true, how does that affect you? If they told you so, how does that affect you? If they laugh, what does that do? Make you feel a little bit inferior only because you're giving them power over you? How dare you? How dare you give someone power over you? Now, it's different if you're going to invest and you call up Warren Buffett and he says, no, bad idea, because you would trade places with him. But if you wouldn't, in this sphere of investment, but if you wouldn't trade places with somebody, then why would you listen to them? Why would you take advice on the girl or man that you want to marry from the unhappily divorced couple? If you want to invest in this or that or start this or that business, why would you listen to the guy with the dead-end 9-to-5 who makes $36,000 a year and has for 10 years and knows nothing about entrepreneurship? Look, guys, I'm very big on experience. I'm very big on just doing what you were meant to do. I had an employee the other day tell me that he wanted to, regarding this new concept I'm coming out with for our logistics company, say, hey, let's go get a consultant. A consultant? Who do you have in mind? Someone from the University of Utah Law. What? Some fourth-year law student or even some professor that's never practiced, knows nothing about logistics, and you want to get his thoughts? Why? I have a big issue with guys in schools that teach entrepreneurship that have never been entrepreneurs. Guys giving law advice who have never been on the other side of the table. Listen, stop hurting the world, yourself, your family, your children, your community, because you're worried about the naysayers. Who cares what the naysayers think or do? Who cares? Stop caring and start doing. All my love and all my respect until tomorrow, friends. Please review and share this with somebody that could use it. Later.